electric lights blow my mind, but I feel alright. I never stop, it's how we ride, coming up until we die. You catch my eye, bitch, you wanna fly. I'm so alive. Never stop, it's how we ride, coming up until we die. I don't wanna go to school, I just wanna break the rules. Boys and girls across the world, put it on our dancing shoes. I just wanna break the rules. I don't wanna go to school, I just wanna break the rules. Boys and girls across the world, put it on our dancing shoes. I just wanna break the rules.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Lenovo Ambassador Stephen Miller.
Again, for the 17th time, thank you and good afternoon. The thank you is for coming to see us. You actually can't hear that enough. We really appreciate you taking the time to spend with us today. I also like the theme of what is my role today? Lenovo Ambassador. My entire team's job is to meet with our customers, to take what Emilio says, our sales executives say, understand that, and talk to you when they can't be there. The other half of our job is to listen. Our whole task, the important thing is to listen. What are these needs? When Emilio talks about responsiveness, it's our job to be feet on the street to listen to what our customers need, down to moving a USB port, more to a solution from a data center. So that puts me in my topic today. How do ThinkPads, how do our Think clients revolve around business? How are they designed to get to business? Well, first you have to go back to who we are. I'm a geek. I like products. I go to CES every year since it's been Comdex. Since 1999, I've been in Vegas for Comdex and CES. This morning got me more excited than any of those years because of the modular phone. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. The other thing, I'm a geek for the industry. Why does it matter that HP split? Why does it matter that Dell is going private? Why does it matter that Apple sues Samsung? Why does it matter that Lenovo buys Motorola and x86? So to get there, I want to talk about something called inflection point. So when we get to an inflection point, it changes the industry at a fundamental level. Innovation happens every single year. Change happens every single year. Ooh, we put a bigger megapixel camera on your phone. Who cares? It's the new thing, an evolution. An inflection point is a fundamental change in the way that we do business. I'll give you one example of when this happened. Virtualization on the server side. Who was in IT in the 90s? You had AS400. You had 3270 emulators. Who's typed on a 3270 emulator? Yes. Who did config.sys and autoexec.bat? Okay, you're geeks like me. Now, all of a sudden, somebody got the idea of when you right-click, you look, the server's doing absolutely nothing 98% of the time. Why don't we tell the server it's two servers? That was a major inflection point. By 2000, 2002, people were starting to virtualize. Now, you virtualize servers. We're at another inflection point today. Actually, two different ones. First, I'm going to hit the one that's not my topic. Madhu and Brian this afternoon, in an hour from now, we'll talk about our data center. You've heard us talk about the inflection of data. This is not just my refrigerator talking to my phone telling me I'm out of milk. It hits every single industry differently. It hits healthcare, it hits agriculture, it hits shipping, it hits manufacturing. It hits everything in a different way, but the data is coming. Traditional storage, traditional IT will be overwhelmed and simply collapse under its own weight if you do not change the way you handle data and, more importantly, analyze that data for your own business purposes. Now let's switch to client. How much news do you need that the PC market is in decline? IDC, Gartner, that's their job. The reality is they don't talk about the 2-in-1 space. Some quarters, as much as 50% increase in the 2-in-1 space. The single mode device is dead. Single mode device is no longer enough. I'll give you an example. Recently did a customer visit, and they've split this company. They're in healthcare. One division got 60% of the profit and 40% of the revenue. That's all a lot of profit. The company that I went to visit got 60% of the revenue, but only 40% of the profit. They don't have the profit. Here's the challenge. Their employees all have 3 devices and 2 data plans. Because they're in healthcare, they don't allow corporate email on a personal phone. So every single employee has a corporate-owned phone for email and a data plan. Every employee has an iPad with a data plan. Every single employee has a PC. 3 devices, 2 data plans. They can't afford it. They've got to find a way to get to 2 devices and hopefully a data plan. At least 2 devices and 2 data plans. What's the savings? 1/3 hardware savings. And also, no disrespect, it's harder to support an iPad than it is a Windows device. They only have 90% market share for a reason. It's easier to support Windows than it is anything else. So they're looking for a device, a 2-in-1. Now this actually started with bring your own device. You guys remember bring your own device? That has its bad reasons and it has its failures in it. But what happened is, IT. We were in the world, and I liked it, of here's your new computer, shut up. Remember those guys, right? Here's your new computer. It is what it is. You get 2 computers to choose from. You get a desktop or a notebook. Wonderful, simplicity. You have 2 images to deal with. Then all of a sudden, people realize my computer weighs 7 pounds, and it's 4 years old, and I'm running Windows 95, right? Now, I don't want that. I bought this thing myself. It's faster, sleeker. It actually represents me as a person. I want to use this at work. In fact, I got it on the own network. I'm a rogue. Well, that evolved into choose your own device. Now where we are, IT, you're at an inflection point. There's a couple of things going on. We're at full employment in the United States. That means people have a job and actually looking for their other job. How many of your companies, people base their job on how good is the technology given to me? You truly want me to work for you, but you're giving me a 4.5-pound computer that's 2 years old? No, I'm worth more than that. I want a cutting-edge computer. Employee morale matters. That factors into the device. The PC, the phone, the device we use is part of our image. That also applies to your work PC. The other piece of it is, sometimes touch is more productive. Here's my point on that. If touch wasn't more productive, why aren't all cell phones touch? A touch-based device makes a lot of employees more productive. So now IT, in a small company, has to look at individual employees. The bigger the company, you can look at user groups or job families or types of jobs. Would a different device make that end user, A, happier, 2, more productive? What is the business value of someone that makes money, making the company money, having a device that makes them more productive versus an old, normal clamshell notebook? Here's the thing. Most of you buy 3-year roadmap, sometimes 4-year roadmap computers. If you buy a new computer this year and it's not touch, in 2019, your employees will be on a non-touch computer. You're behind. You just are. It's going to be harder to retain people. It's going to be harder to get things done because the device is not touch. Inflection point. Now, there are some employees that are still going to be more productive, keyboard and mouse. Here's the way that I think about it. If you sit in front of a PC, you do things for hours. If you look at your phone, you do things for moments. If you look at your watch, you do things for seconds. How close to your phone is your job? How many days can you go and just do your job on your phone? Then you should have a touch-based device for work. If you sit in front of a computer and you spend all day doing Excel spreadsheets, mouse, keyboard, 27-inch screen, a PC is actually the device you need. What if a desktop is the device you need? How many of you or how many of your employees would rather go home at 5 o'clock and be done. Leave work at work. Who would like to leave work at work? Here's the reality. IT decision makers. How many of you buy a notebook computer for someone that goes home to do Facebook or Amazon? Then why don't they do their email on their phone and have a desktop at work? One, the benefit, hey, when you're done, you go home. Come to work tomorrow. Two, the benefit from you, it's locked down, it's on Ethernet, you can keep it updated, nobody steals it. When's the last time somebody stole a desktop? Remember that? Remember when people used to steal desktops? People used to steal the memory and hard drives out of a desktop. Was that a problem for you? Now memory is so cheap it takes longer to steal it than it would just to buy your own. If you actually updated computers anyway. Get them a desktop. If they're more productive on that side of mouse, keyboard, screen. I love Microsoft Excel. It's not a touch thing. If you do things on your phone, it's minutes. Get a touch-based device for that employee. 2-in-1 sometimes cost more. But what's the ROI on that device? So how does that work to us? What does those industry trends, these inflection points mean to an OEM? Lenovo has to respond. We have 6 notebook computers under 3 pounds. Sophie will join me on stage in just a moment to go through our product portfolio and talk about the focus on this 2-in-1 device. My challenge to you, nothing's free. My challenge to you is think about your business. How do you use the device? How do your employees use the device? Is it time for you to address this inflection point and get a different device for different users? Time to bite the bullet and spend a couple extra dollars and make people more productive. What you'll see at Lenovo is no one else has our portfolio. For a while, when we talk about from the wristwatch to the pants pocket to the data center, here's the reality. If you weren't there this morning, YY briefly talked about what if the phone, the module, checks your glucose levels? How about a wearable that can check glucose level for a diabetic to report it with Internet of Things technology to your phone? I tell a story. Malanka, is it okay if I tell a story about my boss? I do when you're not in the room, so I'm going to tell this story. If I'm making it up as I go, Malanka, that's usually what I do, okay? Now, Malanka's son is diabetic. He's at a birthday party, he's 10. He's at a birthday party. Do 10-year-olds want cake and ice cream at the birthday party? Yes, they do. Is it cool to tell your friends you can't have cake and ice cream? No, it's not. So the young man, he's okay, by the way. The young man had too much cake and ice cream. Turns into a medical emergency because of glucose levels. Wouldn't it have been awesome if the young man had a wearable on him somewhere that measured transdermally his glucose levels to tell his phone, to tell his mom's phone, hey, call the mom. Now, I'm not saying that's one of our coming products, but we have wearables and we have phones and we have servers. So a company helping us to get there has to be a company with the wearable to start with. And by the way, my watch band matches my phone, so that's pretty cool too, right? Fashion matters, and technology matters. So you have to be the company that makes the smartwatch. You have to be the company that makes the phone. They're all the same now. My phone and my PC and my watch and the server behind me, like the GPS, I don't separate them. They're my thing, my technology. We make them all. We make the workstations to crunch data, to build things, to design things. We make the gaming machines to game, to put you in your own little perfect world and lose productivity in hours and days of your life. I hate games that tell you how many hours you've been playing. I'm embarrassed by that. We make the cool devices, the projectors in tablets, the projectors that go into PCs. No other company has the portfolio. No other company has the vision to understand what the future is going to bring us. And I also like to give things away. From the list of registrations, here's what we did. We drew randomly out of the box. I have 2 of them. John has 1 later. We like to put our money where our mouth is. Sophie's going to come up and talk about a product called the X1 tablet. So we're going to give one to Scott Sowers from Cisco. All right? Sophie's also going to talk about the X1 Carbon that's in its 4th generation. So we're going to give one of those to Marvin Sison from eBay. So guys, just make sure you see the folks at registration, or find me, I'm hard to find. Find Emilio. No, won't find Emilio. Find, Emilio will handle it. He will ship it to you. No, I'm kidding. But find the folks at registration and we'll make sure you get that. And John has one more to give away. Has the name been drawn? They're going to draw one more name, or you have it already. So without further ado, let's take another video, and then on stage, Sophie Sheehan will join me. So thanks.
Think. It's a mindset. It's what makes you explore,
You're going to be awesome.
solve. Imagine. And explore again. It's committing to the journey, not the destination. About asking what's next. And why not? Knowing you might need to turn around before you can forge ahead. It's saying yes to no limits, no barriers, and no boundaries. It's believing beauty can be a beast, that style can be taken to extremes, and that there should always be a little wonder to your world.
Powered by Intel Core processors.
All right, good afternoon. I am very happy to be here with you all in beautiful San Francisco. This is actually my first time here. Stephen, I think it's your, 100th time here?
I've forgotten how many times it's my favorite city on the planet. Oh, by the way, I forgot. Sophie's a newlywed. Sophie's a brand new newlywed.
Thank you.
But I do love San Francisco, so yeah, you're right. Yes.
I cannot be more thrilled to talk to you all about our exciting and innovative client devices. We're going to be going through our notebooks, desktops, and workstations. Some of you may have already gotten a chance to play around with some of them at the demos in the back of the room. And we'll be here for the rest of the day, so as you continue to have questions, we'll be there to help you with any of the demos that you may want to see. So we're going to go ahead and kick it off with ThinkPad. Now, before we really dive into the products, I wanted to give you a glance of what our 2016 mobility portfolio consists of. And as you can see, we have a very diverse and broad portfolio. And the reason why is because we serve customers from a multitude of different industries, from manufacturing to transportation to healthcare. And we understand that one device does not fit all. And that's why we have everything from 10-inch tablets to 17-inch mobile workstations. Now, you just saw a video of our new X1 family, which is in the red. And these are our high-end products that are designed to be incredibly thin, incredibly lightweight, but they do not sacrifice any type of performance. And they were designed after our X1 Carbon, which is our #1 best-selling premium notebook. So not only do we have a newer, more enhanced X1 Carbon, which is now in its 4th generation, but we also added an X1 Yoga, and we added an X1 tablet as well. Now in the blue, T-Series, that is one of our flagship products, and it has been since the beginning. And you're going to see some T-Series that we offer that are in ultrabook form factors, and they will give you over 20 hours of battery life. Right? They'll do up to 32 gigs of memory, so very powerful systems. In the gray, you'll see that we introduced our first ever 13-inch commercial Chromebook. We also have an 11E, which is a device that is ruggedized for education. You know, it's interesting. Gartner actually did a study where they found that failure rates were higher in notebooks used by students in K through 12 than they were in soldiers using notebooks in active combat zones. So this system, it has rubber bumpers to help protect it if people drop it, right? If the kids drop it, it has anchored in keys so they can't pull them out. It has reinforced ports so they can't stick pencils or pens in it. And the hinges have been made to withstand 50,000 cycles of opening and closing because kids are more mobile than any type of mobile business user.
Now you may be wondering why Sophie's talking to you, whether you're not in education. Why is Sophie talking to you about an 11E that's an education box? I'll tell you why. It's for you too. How many of you are decision IT makers that has that guy that works for you that keeps breaking things? Right? I call the X11E the sippy cup of computers. Okay? These people that break things have not proven that they can have a big boy or girl computer. So you get them an X11E, the sippy cup. It's a little slower. It's designed for a 4th grader. It can make it through Afghanistan. It can make it through a 4th grader. It can make it through your dude that keeps breaking things. Until they prove that they have big boy pull-ups and can have a big computer, they get the sippy cup. Make sense? Keep the 11E in mind, and your dude, your Chad, or your Garrett, hey Garrett, you get the X11E.
Yep, exactly. So it's not definitely just a device for education. Any industry can use it. And then in the bottom there, in the yellow on the chart, we had our L series. So this whole entire row, this is going to be your more budget-friendly notebook. So for example, the L series, a little bit more thicker and more heavier than your T or your X series, but it is our most affordable enterprise-class ThinkPad. So let's go ahead and really get into some of these products that I know you're all excited to see. The first one that we're going to go through is our X1 Carbon. This is still the lightest 14-inch Ultrabook on the market. It is 2.6 pounds, and it is razor thin, only 16 millimeters thin.
Is anybody in sales in the room? I see some sales. If you can't sell this, you're the problem.
And this system, typically when you're making systems thinner and lighter, you have to sacrifice ports. Not this one. This one, you're actually gaining ports. So you're going to have 3 USB 3.0 ports. You're going to have full-size HDMI. You'll have your mini display port as well. So you're really going to get all of that outstanding performance in this incredibly lightweight system. This system's going to do up to an i7. It's going to do up to 1 terabyte PCIe solid-state drive. So what that means is you're going to be able to open files and applications more than 2 times faster than with SATA-based solid-state drives. Right? 16 gigs of memory, very powerful system. Now, what's more is that you have all-day battery life, 10 hours, and you have something called rapid charge technology. With rapid charge, you charge this system for 30 minutes, you're going to get 80% of your battery life back. It's going to enable you to be more productive. It's going to enable your workforce. You have employees, they want to be able to work anywhere, right? And so if they're in a cafe, if they're stuck in an airport for hours, right, they don't have to worry about trying to find an outlet.
You can get stuck in airports for hours?
Yes, you can.
Go figure.
Steve and I are on the road a lot, so we have a lot of experience being stuck in airports. And it's nice not to have to be one of those people that's searching for an outlet. So.
Have you seen the guys circling by the outlet, sitting on the uncomfortable floor because the only outlets in the airport are on the pole? No one wants to do that. How about sitting there for 15 minutes instead of for 3 hours?
Exactly. Now, we talk about employees wanting to work anywhere. You might have some users who they need to be connected anywhere, right? Maybe you have sales reps, or you have mobile healthcare workers who are visiting patients, and they need that fast connectivity. This X1 Carbon is going to give you high-speed 4G LTE-A, which is twice as fast as your standard 4G LTE. Now, this system is going to give you 2 docking options. You're going to have your OneLink Plus docking solution, which is a single cable that's going to provide power. It's going to charge your system, right? So if you come into the office, you don't have to worry about taking out your power supply, right? You just connect directly into the OneLink. And it's going to support up to 2 displays or a 4K video output. Now, the other docking solution that we have is our wireless docking solution called WiGig, which stands for Wireless Gigabit. Now, the way that WiGig works is, let's say you're in your office and you have a monitor, right? So you need a video port. You have maybe a keyboard, a mouse, a printer, so you need USB ports. Typically, you might be untangling a lot of wires, right? They're crisscrossing, running all over the floor. What's nice about the WiGig dock is that you do not connect anything into the system. You connect everything into the WiGig dock, except for the power, right? Because it's not going to wirelessly charge your system yet. So what you do is you connect everything into the dock, and then you're free to wirelessly connect for up to 6 feet, right? It's nice because you don't have to feel so constrained to one particular area, right? You can easily move around, or if you're in a conference room, if there's somebody presenting and they have that WiGig dock, they're not constrained to one particular area.
That's another that 6 feet advantage. Literally, you walk in, get within 6 feet. By the time you get your lid open and sit down, you're now docked. Who's back at their desk for 20 minutes, 15 minutes before bashing to the next meeting? Instantly dock. Don't even plug in anything. You're finished, close the lid and go, automatically dock disconnects. Great technology, look at WiGig.
Exactly. Now, if you love this system, but you want touch, because this system does not offer touch, then you want to move to the X1 Yoga. Now,
I'm going to have a challenge for you later, because the X1 Yoga is what Sophie and I carry.
yes.
All right, so think about us and geeks.
Now, this X1 Yoga is just as incredibly thin and lightweight. So it is going to be 2.8 pounds and still 16 millimeters thin. So incredibly sleek and thin. And now what's really new about this product is that it's the first convertible on the market that's going to offer the OLED or organic LED display. Now, if you're not familiar with the OLED display, typically you might see it on TVs, some smartphones have it, but it's going to give you more brighter, more crisper, more vibrant colors that are more truer to life. And we have two systems in the back here where you can take a look and you can see the difference between a non-OLED version and the OLED version. And you'll really see the difference in terms of
I have a warning
brightness.
there. Have you ever gone from cloth seats to leather seats in your car with heat? Anybody have heated seats in your car? You're not going back. You're not going back. Don't look at the OLED. Don't look at it. You're not going to go back. Every time you look at a screen after you look at the OLED, it's going to disappoint you and bring you bad feelings. If you look at the OLED, you're going to want it every day the rest of your life. It's that pretty. Just that's my fair warning. Just
He's right. Another feature that I truly like about this system is that it comes with a pen that is garaged in the system. It is garaged and it charges. So you charge this pen for 5 seconds, you're going to get 100 minutes of use. And what's nice about it also is you don't have to worry about your users losing their pen, right? It's always going to be docked within the system. Now, what else is really great about this X1 Yoga is continuing our tradition with our yoga notebooks. It has the lift and lock keyboard.
I wish you could see it. Make sure if you've not seen it, come and see us to see this.
It's a really great feature because as you rotate it 360 degrees, the keys are going to lift and they're going to lock into place. So they're going to become flush with the keyboard itself.
I'll tell you one. When you flip it over, the first thing you notice is the keys on the back. Now, if you buy the $1,500 for this yourself, you're going to take care of it. Employees don't take care of the things that you buy them, right? So they're going to grab the keys, pop the keys, pull the keys, all of this stuff. Not when they disappear behind the keyboard to completely flat surface. Now it just feels flat. Now there's nothing for the fingernails to get on to pop the keys off. Now it's just as flat on this side as it is on this.
Yep. This X1 Yoga is our first ThinkPad Yoga version to offer 4G LTE. In fact, Lenovo is still the only vendor in the market today to offer WAN on convertible or hybrid 2-in-1 devices. So again, if you do have those users that need that fast connectivity, you can use that with the X1 Yoga as well. Now, as Stephen mentioned, we both currently use this device. I previously had the X1 Carbon, moved to the X1 Yoga, and I love this system, and I use it in all the different modes. So in addition to the standard notebook mode that he's showing, we also have what we call stand mode. And stand mode is perfect for video conferencing. It's also great for watching movies. And then we have what we call tent mode. And tent mode is great. Let's say you're at the table, you're eating breakfast, and you don't want to have crumbs fall into your system, right? This is a really easy and perfect place for space-constrained areas. And then you have your traditional tablet mode, which is perfect for using our Pen Pro, and I use it for taking notes in applications such as OneNote. Very easy, and it really adapts to how you work.
Here's another thing, if you're on an airplane and you're flying and you can have your computer out, but now they've closed the door and it's time to take off. You have to put your computer away. You don't have to put your tablet away.
Yep.
Right? You get to keep your tablet out, but you don't have to keep your computer out.
Exactly. So you have airplane mode as well. And same docking solutions that you can use with the X1 Yoga. So you can do either the Y-Gig docking or the OneLink Plus as well. Now, if you think you made up your mind about which X1 device might be your favorite, just wait until I finish telling you about our X1 tablet, because it is truly a game changer. Now, this X1 tablet is a 12-inch full HD tablet. It's going to do up to Core M7 with vPro, 16 gigs of memory, 1 terabyte PCIe, so you still have all that performance in this 12-inch form factor. Now, this system, it is 2.4 pounds with the keyboard, but without the keyboard, it's 1.76 pounds. So that is incredibly lightweight as well. And it uses that same Pen Pro. One thing I want to mention about the Pen Pro is that this pen has 2,048 levels of pressure sensitivity. To give you a benchmark, the Surface Pen has 1,024 levels of pressure sensitivity.
I'm not Rain Man, but 1,000 is 1/2 of 2,000. This is twice as good, right?
Right, exactly. So it is twice as accurate as that Surface Pen. And it's really going to give you that more natural feel of putting pen to paper. Now, what truly differentiates this X1 tablet from other tablets on the market is its Ultra Connect modular design. There is 2 modules that will snap into place onto the bottom of this tablet. The first one is the productivity module. And what that's going to do, it's going to give you an additional 5 hours of battery life. So you have 10 hours in the tablet itself, you add this productivity module, and you're going to have 15 hours of battery life. It's also going to give you full-size HDMI. It's going to give you another USB 3.0 port, and it's going to give you your OneLink Plus docking port as well. Now, the other module we have is our projector module. So what this is going to do is going to give you a Pico projector that is going to project up to 60 inches. Right? So you're going to have a 60-inch display from your X1 tablet.
This is my favorite. Here's the way that I tell you about this. You ever been to a meeting where you thought you were going to talk to one person and you end up talking to 5? And there's one Excel spreadsheet or one PowerPoint slide you just have to show, and you just realized your keyboard is nasty. You just pop on the module, flip against the wall, and therefore, boom, 60-inch projection on the screen. No one sees your nasty keyboard. You've saved the day because you have a projector in your briefcase. And what does it weigh? This is half a pound, third of a pound, trivially weight in your briefcase.
Yeah, and I've talked to some customers who've told me that their sales reps, they're carrying their own portable projectors. So this is something nice that you can easily throw into your bag as you're going to the different meetings. One more thing that I wanted to mention is the companion keyboard with this ThinkPad is a very sturdy keyboard, right? ThinkPads, we're known for our industry-leading keyboards. It's one of our crown jewels, and this is no different than any of those keyboards that you're going to see with some of our full-size 14-inch, 15.6-inch notebooks as well. So it's really going to give you that full PC experience.
Now, I want to see a show of hands here. This is the dilemma. This is my homework. Sophie and I chose, I'm actually having second thoughts. Sophie and I chose, okay, here's the upsides. You always have a 14-inch device with a full-size keyboard. You always have that. The downside is it's always 3 pounds. Okay, she said 2.88, but let's just call it 3. It's always 3 pounds, but you always have. Now, if you want to flip over, you can flip over, okay? But you always have the full keyboard, etc. Now, the other side, how many's with Jimmy is going to go? Okay, here's the downside, the upside. Pound and a half, this is your commute. This is your commute. This is your briefcase. Get to the office, you dock it, you have 2 monitors, you have 4K, 2K. This is your commute. You decide to add, it's still 2.5 pounds with the keyboard. Downside is, okay, it's 12-inch screen. Who's over here? Who's with the X1 tablet? I don't see hands. You guys got to play along or it gets boring for all of us. There you go. All right, X1 tablet. Or now, who stayed with me over here? Because I don't know, X1 yoga, okay? More hands. Okay, salespeople, did you notice that? Salespeople, I did that for you. X1 yoga. All right, thanks. Okay.
Something else about this X1 tablet that is important to a lot of our customers is serviceability. I'm sure some of you might be thinking, a tablet so thin, how easy is it to surface? Well, there is a couple of screws, a couple of plastic tabs. You pop it open, you'll get access to the battery, the storage, and the wireless WAN card. So if you need to upgrade, replace, or repair, it's very easy to do.
That brings up, and I don't understand my relationship with the Surface, the Microsoft Surface. I love it. It's my competitor in a lot of ways. But it actually made Windows PCs cool again. I believe that's an awesome thing. Here's the downside you may not know. You're in the Caribbean, you're in lots of places, no warranty, good luck to you. The other side is, she just brought up serviceability. The drive is soldered to the system board. Can't tell you the name of the company here in the Bay Area. Has 1,000 surfaces. You know what their service policy is? A sheet of paper and a drill. They have a sheet of paper with a hole in it, and they take a drill and drill through that hole to drill through the solid-state drive to destroy it and throw it in the trash. That's not good IT spend. X1 tablet, pop it open, the SD drive pops out, you get it serviced, change it out to a different one, put the SD drive in. The SD drive is in your hand, not in the device going away for service. That's just better, right?
And Stephen brings up a great point. Typically, when we're at customer meetings, one of the most popular questions that we get asked about this X1 tablet is, how does it differentiate from the Surface? And before we go into that, let's roll a video.
I like that.
So a few key things that hopefully you took away from this in terms of how the X1 tablet differentiates itself. We talked about keyboard quality. The next thing is durability. This X1 tablet is military spec tested. The Surface is not. The next thing is battery life. You can get up to 15 hours using that productivity module. And then the next thing is the modularity, right? So if you want to add a Pico projector, you can. And then another feature is wireless WAN. So those are a few key things in addition to the serviceability that really allow this X1 tablet to stand out from many of the other tablets on the market today. Now, we talked about T-Series as one of our flagship products. This is our first ever T-Series at 3 pounds. If you're familiar with T-Series, typically it's about 4 pounds. We did have a T450S last year that was 3.5 pounds, but this is our lightest T-Series ever.
I actually do have a warning for you. If you're the type of decision maker or an executive that traditionally likes to look very different from what the employees carry, do you know those are executives? I have a very special computer because I'm an executive. You have a very boring computer because you're not, right? This is going to be a problem for you. This is what the employee carries. This is as thin and as light as the first generation of Carbon. A traditional, everyday computer for the rank and file employee, the same weight as the first generation executive carry. So fair warning.
Yep. And some of the things that we added to this generation of the T460S, well, we added now where you can do up to 24 gigs of memory. We added PCIe solid state drive as well. So these are things that are really going to add on to it. We added a WQHD so you can get those bright, beautiful pictures. In this system, it's also great because for those of you who like mechanical docking, you can do mechanical docks with the system or you can do the Y-gig docking. So you truly have the perfect combination of enterprise features and lightweight portability. Now, the next area of ThinkPads that we want to talk about is our P series, our workstation. So the top row is our mobile workstations, and then on the bottom, we have our true Think stations. Now, starting with our P40 Yoga, this is the first multi-mode mobile workstation on the market today, and it is less than 4 pounds. It is 3.9 pounds in a 14-inch form factor. It has NVIDIA graphics, i7 processor, and it truly brings that new type of user to the system, the more artistic, creative user that likes putting pen to paper, because you can use this ISV certified device with that same Pen Pro that we talked about with our X1 devices as well.
One of the things I've learned from talking to customers, the folks that sit in front of a workstation are the highest paid traditionally short of the executive floor. The downside of that is when they don't work, they're not productive, manufacturing doesn't happen. When design doesn't happen, procurement doesn't matter. Manufacturing can't happen. Manufacturing can't happen, shipping can't happen. If shipping can't happen, sales might as well go buy you golf, right? This is about being in the field and also being productive. The reliability is going to come out, but that high-paid user that has a full workstation there can be out in the field because it's a workstation, can still render, can still take the designs, can, with special photographer all the way to the designer, still ISV certifications in the field with the docking pin. This is the productivity in the field workstation. This is the P40.
Yep. It's perfect for interior designers, graphic artists, comic book writers. I mean, there's so many different users that can really use this system to be very productive. The next system we had was the P50S. This is one of our first 15-inch mobile workstations that is under 5 pounds. It's 4.9 pounds. It has our PowerBridge battery, so you can get up to 20 hours of battery life. And if you're not familiar with PowerBridge, it uses a sealed internal 3-cell battery with an external hot swappable 3 or 6-cell battery to give you that 20 hours of battery life. And then the P50, P70, these are our true corporate workhorses. You're getting Intel Xeon processor, 4K displays, to 64 gigs of memory.
Look how thin that baby is.
Yeah, right.
This is a svelte 8 pounds, okay? But here's the thing. This is not a toy. This is not one of the products you ask how much it cost. This is the product you go, how much does it do? This is a tool, all right? This is RAID drives. This is 2 gig of video memory. This is horsepower and in workstation getting things done. 8 pounds of business, right? That's the P70.
Exactly. Both of those systems, the P50, P70, they both have enough horsepower to handle those compute-intensive tasks such as 4K editing or 3D modeling, or if you're doing high-end image work such as CAD, they are really going to help you to get the job done. Now, the bottom area that we had on that chart was our ThinkStation devices. These are devices that we truly modified from the ground up. And there's a few areas that we truly focused on. Number one is the toolless serviceability of it, right? So everything will come out of the box without a screwdriver. There's red touch points where you can interact with it. So very easy if you need to service it. The next thing is reliability. So one of the biggest challenges with workstations is how do you keep it cool, right? Because you can put up to 1 terabyte of memory in it. So thermal design is very important, and we patented something called tri-channel cooling where we only use 3 system fans to cool the system. Now P310, this is your entry-level workstation. This is perfect for those users who they're moving from a desktop to a workstation, right? If they're doing entry-level CAD, for example. P500, a lot of our healthcare customers like these for their medical imaging systems. It's popular for product design. For example, Stanley Black & Decker has been a ThinkStation customer of ours for the last 4 generations, and they use these systems to design all their DeWalt and Stanley Black & Decker tools. P710 and P910, these are our dual processor workstations. So the P710, this is going to be perfect for complex coding, high-end design, engineering work. P910, this is designed to handle the most mission-critical medical and geospatial and scientific applications with ease, right?
For example, the P710 is where Harley-Davidson motorcycles are designed. So you can design a motorcycle at the 700, and we still go 1 step above that for the 900.
Exactly. Oil and gas, love the P910. If you're doing any type of on-site rendering, they are perfect systems. Now, Before we move on to ThinkCenter, something that I really want to make sure to leave with you regarding ThinkPads is the core tenets of our brand, which are purposeful design, trusted quality, and relentless innovation. And we talked a lot about innovative design and reliability and why that matters. And we design our products to be incredibly ruggedized. And one thing that I want to mention that probably might be a problem with some of you, or if you've had it in the past, is spills, right? People spilling drinks in their systems. Does anybody have any guesses as to how many ounces the industry deems acceptable for spill resistance? 1 ounce.
One measly ounce.
Unacceptable, unless you're taking shots at your desk. Does anybody have any guesses as to how many ounces Lenovo tests our systems to? You don't count. 16.9 ounces, which is equivalent to a bottle of water or a large frosty beverage. We have a colleague here who actually wanted to do his own spill test, and I think we're going to go ahead and play that video as well.
All right.
Hello, I'm Garrett from Lenovo, and today we're here at the Chef's Academy in Morrisville, North Carolina. With me I have Chef Ryan.
Hey, Garrett.
And together we're going to perform an extreme spill test on a ThinkPad notebook. ThinkPads are legendary for their spill-resistant keyboard design, and the latest models have been built to take up to 16.9 ounces of liquid. But today we're really going to push the limits. We're actually going to dump almost 4 times that amount on this ThinkPad. Now, things are going to get a little messy here, but let's get started. First, 16.9 ounces of red wine. That's a big glass of wine. But this is the spill volume that we've designed our ThinkPads to handle. Hey, it's still working. But now we're really going to push the limits. Let's try a mug of coffee. And finally, an entire pitcher of ice water. That's incredible. That's amazing. I mean, we've pushed this thing well beyond the limit of 16.9 ounces, and it's still running.
That is crazy.
Gosh, this is a mess.
It really is.
Who's going to clean it up?
I don't know, but I think I have something cooking in the oven there.
We should have put a tarp down.
You're right.
Make sure you meet the creator and star of that video, Garrett Duggar. He'll be back with the ThinkPads in just after the break, but make sure you say hello to Garrett.
Now, we have desktops in all different shapes and sizes, but there's 2 key areas that we're really seeing a lot of growth, which is in our all-in-ones and our Tiny. Now, we were the first vendor to shrink a desktop into a 1-liter package. And the Tiny is one of our best-selling desktops. But before we get into that, we're going to talk about our ThinkCenter X1 All-in-One. You heard me talk earlier about our X1 branded notebooks. Well, this All-in-One is slimmer than a notebook. It is 11 millimeters thin. It's a 23.8-inch Full HD anti-glare display for bright pictures with zero shine. Right? That anti-glare display is going to be perfect for those environments where there's lots of natural lighting, there's a lot of reflective office lights, because it's going to help reduce that eye strain. Now, this system, very powerful, up to an i7 processor with vPro, so you're going to get that manageability and security as well. It is Skype for Business certified, so on the front there's going to be these dual array microphones. One of them is going to enhance your speech, and the other one is going to eliminate any background noise. You're going to have crystal clear conferencing with Dolby Dolby audio as well. And this all-in-one, it's gonna come with this adjustable, really elegant adjustable stand that's gonna go from -5 degrees to 45 degrees, so you can really adjust it the way that you want to, so make sure it works for you. And this is perfect for your client-facing locations, right? Because it has that sleek, elegant design. It's perfect for kiosks. It's going to be great for digital signage, for example. So a lot of different areas where you can really utilize all-in-ones and space-constrained areas as well. Now, the Tiny, you can get everything from an entry-level Tiny M600 with a Pentium processor to a really high-end M900 i7, up to 32 gigs of memory, the M.2 solid-state drive. It is a truly powerful device, and it has become our #1 best-selling commercial desktop. I mean, it's over 40% of our desktop portfolio is on this Tiny desktop.
If you want some trivia, since we're the global #1 commercial desktop vendor, and this is our #1 selling, this is the world's best-selling desktop computer. Kind of cool, right? The world's best-selling desktop.
Every single one of these Tiny desktops will push 3 displays. The only difference between the M700 and the M900, our premium version, is the M900 will give you vPro. It also has the capability to do Mosaic, where you can get 4 displays. Every single Tiny desktop is military spec tested. So another advantage of this year's generation, because last year only our M93P premium desktop was mil-spec tested, now the entire portfolio is.
Here's what that means to you. Healthcare, put it in the wall. Manufacturing, put it in the warehouse. High temperature, low temperature, vibration, dust. All the things, the bad things that can happen. This device, can't say ruggedized, but this device is 12 mil-spec tested to be in your space where you need it.
Absolutely, and there's some obvious advantages just with that small form factor, right? It's gonna cut down your power cost savings compared to a small form factor or a tower. This system, it's also gonna save you on shipping costs. It's easy for deployment because you can take it from building to building, from floor to floor. But what truly differentiates, and I think one of the reasons why a lot of customers love this Tiny desktop, is because you can mount it anywhere. You can mount it in the ceiling, behind a monitor, under a desk. Now let's say you do have it in the ceiling somewhere where it's out of reach. All you have to do to power on your system is to hit Alt-P. You're good to go. Very easy.
Ran into a customer that had accidentally had bought my competitor's computer. With it, they had to buy wooden sticks because they bought the competitor's device to put in a little kiosk. Well, you know where the power button is? Inside the kiosk. So they had to drill a hole in the kiosk and issue everybody a wooden stick to poke the power button. With Tiny, all you needed was Alt-P. Who would rather buy a stick versus Alt-P? Just makes sense.
Yep. And there's a lot of different other accessories that you can utilize with this Tiny. Let's say you need more legacy ports. Well, we have an I/O expansion box. We have a storage kit where you can add an external optical drive if you need to, or an external hard drive. Another popular accessory is our Tiny-in-One. It is a 23-inch monitor with a built-in VISA mounting sleeve and a set of connectors that mate with the ports on the Tiny. And the big story here is ease of deployment, because it literally takes 2 steps to set up this new Tiny-in-One. You place the Tiny in the mounting sleeve, slide in the connectors, and your setup is done. There's no need for an IT service call. It's very end-user doable. It's perfect for any customer that wants a more flexible, all-in-one type solution that can be rapidly deployed. And it fits all of our current family of Tiny desktops, from entry-level to high-end to our thin client models. So it really gives you that power to scale your hardware based upon your users' needs, right? You can easily upgrade a Tiny to a more powerful one if you wanted to. It's perfect for if you have environments or uniformity requirements, such as public sector, right? So a lot of different ways that you can really utilize it. And in fact, it's been so popular that coming at the end of July, we're going to be introducing a 22-inch Tiny-in-One as well as a 24-inch Tiny-in-One. And they're going to have a sleek, borderless display. And we're also adding audio. So this version, the 23-inch, did not have it, and it will with a 22 and 24 to make conferencing easier as well.
Excellent. Obviously, we have an hour. We can't go into every single product we have. Our goal today is to give you the highlights. The products understand what we're trying to get done for our portfolio. Sophie did a great job of giving you the details about what they're trying to get done, the space they fit into your business. Take a moment, look at the other products. Find your sales rep. Look at what we're trying to get done to help you. The entire reason we exist is to help your business do what your business does to make money. Our devices help your end users be more productive. We have to help you pick the right device per user. Make sense? Now quickly, last logistics. 15-minute break. Now we're in San Francisco. I know the culture, that means 27 minutes. All right? It's not traffic. Let's try to make this 15 minutes. We'll come back. We'll hear wonderful things, new announcements, great products from our data center group. So 15-minute break, folks. Thank you.
Thank you.